Example of the government's science and innovation policies in action.
Question number 8, the Honourable Annette King.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Housing. Does he stand by all his answers to parliamentary questions? If not, why not?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Yes, Mr Speaker, as long as they're taken in context.
The Honourable Annette King.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. Does he stand by his statement made recently in Parliament that Housing New Zealand tenancy managers will have a laptop? They will no longer be stuck behind a desk in an office using a whiteboard. We are moving to modern technology. If so, when was he informed that tenancy officers have never had laptops, will not be getting laptops, and the so-called modern technology they have got is a cell phone that is not fit for purpose?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Well, Mr Speaker, surprised that the members got it wrong again. First of all, for the first part of the question, the Hansard will say that the changes we are making, that tenancy managers will spend, they will no longer be stuck behind a desk, and we are moving to new technology. So clearly it is fairly future-focused. That's the first thing. The second thing the member says is that tenancy managers have never used laptops. Actually, in Christchurch, after the earthquakes, tenancy managers, when they were out and about, did use laptops. But can I say to the member, if she could just stop making things up, the House would be a lot happier.
Point of order, the Honourable Annette.
Mr Speaker, would it be appropriate for the Minister to table what he was quoting from, because he missed out the fact that he used the word laptops?
Order. The member must resume his seat. The member, if I understood him correctly, was quoting from his Hansard, and that's already available. So it's all available for members anyhow. So we won't be tabling that. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, can you confirm that the uncorrected Hansard is also available to members? Because, sir, there could well be a difference here between what the member said and what he said he said. Order.
Since when did members not understand this is a point of order? Both the uncorrected and the correct are available. And I must say to the member asking the question, if the Minister's answer missed out a bit, she believes should have been it, that's obvious. Next supplementary. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
And can the Speaker further confirm from, I think, the Prebble case that dealt with by a Speaker, that it is a breach of privilege to significantly change one's Hansard to take out a vital fact?
Like laptops.
Mr Speaker?
Speaking to the point of order, the Honourable Phil.
What the members' allegations are, and I think journalists and members can test this by looking at the Hansard, is that I would have had to have changed these words: are making, will spend, will have, they no longer be.
Order. The member resume his seat. None of this stuff should be being dealt with by way of point of order. The member has the chance to give, the Minister has the chance to answer further questions, the member has the chance to ask further questions, and that's the way this matter should be dealt with. The member asked a question, the Minister answered it, the member believed he left a bit out that in her view should have been in the answer, and that's an opportunity for further supplementaries to chase that up to see if that was the matter, and so I invite the Honourable Annette King to do that.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. Does he consider, after the promises he made in opposition and his undivided attention to the housing portfolio to improve the quality of state houses, that some state houses are now just in a serious state of repair, as he claimed on the 2nd of August this year, or is the government the biggest slum landlord in the country?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Mr Speaker, I've made it clear in opposition, and certainly coming into government since I got the briefing as incoming minister twice, and actually 3 times, and other documents, that there's a large amount of the state housing stock which is in a serious state of disrepair. Now, the most immediate thing we can do, clearly, is to insulate all state houses. I don't know why they weren't done historically in the last 10 years, but we'll be insulating every state house by the end of next year. But there's still an awful lot of work to do to get state housing up to a decent standard. And we think we should not just look at those in the waiting list and be concerned about them, but also those who are in state houses, they should be living in decent conditions, and we're working on that.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. What was his reaction to the Minister of Finance, Bill English, calling the government the biggest slum landlord in the country by a long shot just yesterday, therefore making him the principal slum landlord as the Minister of State Housing? And how does this label stack up against his claim that he's always suspected that he was a very effective member?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Well, Mr Speaker, I've said this ad infinitum for 4 years, is that the state housing stock is in a serious state of disrepair, that in fact, you know, it took a decade to deteriorate, and we're repairing it. But can I just say this, Mr Speaker, is, you know, the easiest thing you could do is insulate the state houses. They weren't insulated in a decade. We're going to finish insulating by the end of next year, and that's a great thing. I'm not denying it's not in a state of serious disrepair. We've got to get on and doing it. And one more thing, Mr Speaker, every time we bowl a state house to rebuild, kick out a gang member or whatever, those opposite complain.
Oh, well, supplementary question,
Honourable
Mr
Annette
Speaker.
King.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. When Bill English said yesterday the government was looking for, quote, viable capital recycling models to deliver more efficient state housing, is he indicating floating Housing New Zealand on the stock market so we can all become slum landlord millionaires?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Well, Mr Speaker, that's a very complicated way at looking what Bill English meant. What I think he meant, though, on the face of it, is this, is that he thinks it'd be a really good idea if we sold and bowled the old crappy ones and built some new ones for our tenants. And personally, I think that's a really good idea.
Question number 9, Ian McKelvey.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Associate Minister of Transport. What progress is being made on the government review into transport rules affecting agriculture?